Coming up on OU Nightly, mold shuts down the largest library in Norman. We're hearing from city officials for the first time.
And we have rain chances on their way to Norman. I'm going to have your latest forecast coming up.
And a health alert. What illness is making the rounds and who is most at risk? This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Emily Faith.
And I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel. Today, the city of Norman addresses the growing mold inside of the Norman Central Library. OU Nightly's Morgan Martin joins us live ahead of a scheduled library meeting with what we know so far.
Now, the city wasn't able to tell us tonight how much money it will cost to fix the library, but they say it will be shut down for the next 5 months. The $39 million library opened in 2019. From the beginning, the director of Parks and Recreation, Jason Olson, says the building has had water issues.
At the very beginning, we did have some water leak problems, and we were nonstop chasing leaks.
Olson adds there are currently no health concerns with the staff that worked inside the building. The city hired Cavens Remediation and Restoration to begin the cleanup process. Gary Cavens says this doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen.
So we're only going to be in there for 30 to maybe 90 days for our process. The rest of the time is going to be the other contractors, the envelope consultants looking into what's going on, making the outside repairs, making sure everything's watertight.
For the past several years, roof leaks have been observed by the city. The lower roof redone in 2020. Mold has now been discovered within the facility, some of which you can even see. Now, city leaders say they still don't know the root cause of this, but tonight at 6:30, the Pioneer Library System, who's in charge of running this library, will be meeting to discuss the next steps in this process. In Norman, Morgan Martin, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Morgan. An Oklahoma City police officer is out of jail tonight after being arrested Monday. 41-year-old Christopher Gellenbeck is accused of assaulting a teenager and trying to keep his ex-wife from calling 911 over the weekend. In 2021, Gellenbeck was arrested and accused of domestic assault and battery. The Oklahoma City Police Department says Gellenbeck is on paid administrative leave.
Well, after a chilly morning, the sun has warmed things up a bit on campus.
The question is, are these clear skies going to stick around? OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brand is in the Weather Center with a first look at the forecast. Lauren?
That's right, ladies. We are currently looking at these temperatures across Oklahoma right now. We've seen pretty mild temperatures for this time of year. Most of us seeing those upper 50s and some lower 60s in there as well. But for northern Oklahoma, they are a little bit colder because they still have some snow on the ground from the last system that went through the area. This is going to continue to melt as we go on throughout the day today. But coming up, we are going to be talking about some of those rain chances on the way, some colder temperatures, and a first look at December. Stick with us.
Thanks, Lauren. The fragile ceasefire in the Middle East enters day 5 as more hostages return to their families. Victoria Anderson has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Israel and Hamas agreeing to an extended ceasefire today, allowing the release of additional 30 Israeli hostages as well as 12 Hamas hostages. Israeli leaders reporting the truce may end after an additional hostage exchange Wednesday night. And 41 construction workers freed today in northern India after being trapped in a tunnel for 17 days. The tunnel collapsing due to a landslide, blocking the workers behind almost 200 feet of debris. Officials report all workers are in good health after weeks of being fed food, water, and oxygen through pipes.
But when I see you, I fall in love with you all over again. Does that seem strange to you? It doesn't to me. Goodbye, darling. Until tomorrow. Jimmy.
A final love letter for the former First Lady, read today at Rosalind Carter's funeral services in Atlanta, Georgia. The Bidens, alongside former White House officials, honored Carter's time as a civil servant and a global figure. And presidents of Harvard, MIT, and Penn State are scheduled to testify before Congress in next week's hearing on anti-Semitism on American campuses. Kaylee, Joe, Emily.
Thanks, Victoria. Coming up on OU Nightly, a cuddly kitten who's looking for a home just in time for Christmas.
We'll have more details on this perfect new friend coming up in Pet of the Week.
And flu cases are rising following Thanksgiving week.
What doctors are recommending to stay healthy during the holidays after the break.
Respiratory illnesses are on the rise in China and the United States. The World Health Organization is telling people to take precautions fast. OU Nightly's Becca Yanis joins us live with this and other top health stories.
That's right. Right now, the WHO advises travelers not to change plans if they're traveling to China. But if you feel sick, they say stay at home. And here are long lines of patients waiting to get into Chinese hospitals. The WHO says there has been a recent uptick of respiratory viruses, but they add they are not seeing new pathogens like COVID-19. And back here in the United States, doctors say they are seeing a lot of flu cases. But doctors say outpatient visits for flu-like illnesses are actually lower than this time last year. Health experts say stay at home when you're sick and mask up if you have to go into public feeling sick. And parents, listen to this. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration recalled cinnamon applesauce pouches after reports of high blood lead levels in children. As of last week, there have been reports of 52 children getting sick. Brands of applesauce include Wanabana, Weiss, and Schnucks. And a health update for your furry friend. Vets say they are finding a mysterious respiratory illness in dogs. There are reports in a dozen states so far, and there are no medications or therapy the disease responds to. Kaylee Jo, Emily.
Thanks, Becca. It's the season of giving, and what better way than to give a shelter animal who's new to the adoption scene? OU Nightly's Kaylee Fan has more in this edition of Pet of the Week.
She's very sweet. She's very much a lap baby cat, and she just wants to be held and petted and play.
Meet Floss, a loving, cuddly 7-month-old cat who just arrived at Second Chance Animal Rescue.
She is, as you can see, a very, very pretty cat. I haven't seen a cat that has this kind of markings. It's kind of like a half gray, half orange tabby.
She's recently spayed and therefore new to the adoption floor, but she wants it to be clear that she's ready at any time to be adopted.
She's the first cat that comes up to you whenever you walk into the room.
Goebel says that she would be best suited for any home. However, he does caution bringing her into a house where the other pet is territorial.
I don't think they'd fight back. They just wouldn't be as happy as they could be.
Floss is also really smart, and Goebel says that one day with patience, you may even be able to teach her tricks.
They'll learn it pretty intuitively. I mean, genuinely, this is a cat that I think you could take on a walk if you worked with it long enough.
Reporting from Second Chance, Kaylee Fan, OU Nightly.
If you or someone you know is interested in Floss or any of the other pets from Second Chance, visit their website at secondchancenorman.com. You can also call the sanctuary at the number on your screen. It's never too late to help a pet in need.
With finals week ahead, the OU Writing Center is holding a revising and editing workshop at 5 p.m. in Wagner Hall. The center emphasizes that knowing the difference between the two can help your writing.
The workshop, again, is about revising and editing. Those are two separate processes, and sometimes people don't necessarily understand. They kind of blend the two together and how they need to use that process as part of their own personal writing processes, and especially with the finals coming up.
The center also has a virtual workshop on Thursday at 11 a.m. Coming up on OU Nightly, a local business looking to make Christmas miracles happen.
How you can join in on the holiday spirit up next.
And we have rain chances on the way, but I'm going to have your latest forecast coming up after the break. Welcome back to OU Nightly, and thank you for joining us on this lovely Tuesday. We have clear blue skies right now. We can't really see any clouds in the sky right now, but as we go on throughout our day, we are going to continue to decline in temperature. We're sitting around 61 degrees right now. It is a little bit on the drier side, so maybe you want to keep that chapstick handy as we go on throughout the next couple of days. But if you're headed out tonight and have any plans, we are going to be dipping down in temperature, eventually getting to close to freezing freezing, but just right above freezing, around 35 degrees. So if you have any plans for tonight and even into tomorrow morning, if you have an earlier start, make sure to grab that jacket if you are headed out the door. We could have a little bit of wind gusts as well, so be sure to keep that in mind as well. As we head into your Thursday, we do have some rain chances in your forecast. Now, these rain chances are really going to stay to the southeast of us, but Norman is still included in this. We have up to a 70% chance of rain right now, but as we move out west, those chances are going to start to decrease. But for most of us here, and especially on campus, we do have a pretty good chance of seeing those showers here. Now let's time this out for you. This is going to be Wednesday afternoon, and eventually when we get into Wednesday evening, we should start to see that cloud cover roll in through the area, really making us mostly cloudy skies. Now those showers are going to start rolling in Thursday morning around 5 a.m. Those showers could last throughout the majority of the day. This is going to be around Thursday at 8 a.m. So those showers are going to be on the lighter side and then eventually picking back up as we go on throughout your Thursday. So we are going to be seeing some rain here as we go into Thursday, but as we get into Friday, this should clear out of the area. Now, this is your air mass forecast. We could see a chance of a warm up. This is going to be that low that's going to be bringing us those rain chances in your forecast. But as we go on throughout the day, we could see some colder temperatures on the back half of that front. Now, those lows tonight, we're going to be around 35 degrees, really cold across the state in general. And as we go into your highs on Wednesday, we are going to be getting back up into those 60s, still those colder temperatures up north from that snow like I mentioned earlier. But for your 7-day forecast, we're going to be in those 60s, eventually cooling down as we get into that, or as those rain showers come through the area. We're going to drop to around 55 degrees and then eventually dropping into even some of those 40s, ladies.
Well, Lauren, I know that we had some snow up in the northwestern part of the state. Are we going to see more snow at some point in the future? Do you know?
Well, as of right now, we don't see that in our forecast. Those temperatures are just on the warmer side. So for now, we're just going to be sticking with some more localized rain here on campus, but I don't really see any snow in our forecast just quite yet.
Well, that's great for me. I mean, I am not a big fan of the snow personally.
Well, I don't know about you. I do love the snow, so it's okay. We can agree to disagree there. But as Christmas quickly approaches, both holiday cheer and inflation are at a high. If you're looking for an affordable gift, Norman's Donate a Miracle extends a Christmas thrift. From toys to clothes and even dishes, the thrift store offers it all to the Norman community. Along with gifts for purchase, personal necessities are given to those without food and shelter. Store owner Liz Farrar says every day is Christmas for both visitors and workers.
Everybody coming in, helping with donations. We get volunteers that want to help us all the time. Right now I've got 5 that's working downstairs, so it's amazing, you know.
You can find Donate a Miracle at 315 East Alameda Street, and donations are accepted Monday through Saturday from 10 to 6. Well, it's Giving Tuesday, a day that encourages people to donate to charities and nonprofits.
CNN's Karen Kaifa shows us how you can donate safely this holiday season.
Amid the bustle of holiday shopping and spending, it's also a good time of year to give back. Unfortunately, scammers will deploy common tricks to take advantage of the busy season.
There's so many things that we interact with online and things that we do online, and that goes for both work and personal life, that, you know, there are a lot of ways to get people to act.
Hank Schless of cybersecurity company Lookout says phishing scams, emails or text messages encouraging a recipient to follow a link to a fake website that looks like the real deal can prompt a consumer to give away critical information like logins and passwords.
Once they steal that, they'll go and basically, they have these programs that can automatically try your credentials across thousands of other websites, including, you know, banking websites and things like that.
As Americans make end-of-year online donations to support causes and groups, the Federal Trade Commission warns scammers often put pressure on consumers to donate right away, often using the name of a group that seems legitimate to cause confusion. Before giving, seek out websites that evaluate charities like the Better Business Bureau's Give.org, or check a charity's standing with the IRS. And use a credit card or check for donations. The FTC says asking for cash or gift cards can be signs of a scam. In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Thanks, Karen. And another idea is to ask where your donation will be used to avoid getting scammed. Coming up on OU Nightly, Brent Venables and his squad are on a hunt for a new offensive coordinator.
OU Nightly's Darby McCormick has more on the potential candidates to lead the Sooners into the SEC. A highly respected award in football has announced its finalist. I'll let you know which Sooner got snubbed despite him leading the nation in a statistical category next in sports. Hello, I'm Darby McCormick, and it's time for sports. Billy Bowman, known by Sooner fans as an all-star among OU's defense, isn't getting his well-deserved spotlight. The Jim Thorpe Award is given to the nation's top defensive back and voted on by the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. The finalists have been announced, and Bowman isn't one of them. Billy leads the nation in interception yards and is second in interceptions. With the regular season wrapped up, it's time for OU football to go bowling. Here are all of the predictions for where and when fans can look for a Sooner strikeout. This is subject to change with the conference championships this weekend. Jeff Lebby has jet setted to Starkville, and Sooner football is looking for a new offensive coordinator. Sooner staffers Emmett Jones, Joe John Finley, and Seth Luttrell are all reported candidates for the role. Head coach Brent Venables shares why he's okay with watching his staff move on to different roles.
I want all my guys to have opportunity, and I'll support them in whatever way I can. And my charge to all the staff is to everything has its time. Some of it's not ideal time. Stay focused and locked in to what we got to do. That's what our players deserve. And don't be a distraction. But I'm for all my guys have an opportunity to advance their careers.
If we're mentioning staff members leaving Norman, why not add in players hitting the transfer portal? Wide receiver DJ Graham and offensive tackle Marcus Hicks are the only two currently to say sayonara to the Sooners. While some players are saying goodbye, Sooner fans can say hello to some of the OU football's home game dates for their inaugural SEC season. The conference announced OU will host Tennessee and Alabama on September 21st and November 23rd. It's never too late to mark your calendars for the annual Red and White Spring Game. OU football just announced that the game will take place on April 20th. It's your last chance to see the Sooners before their move to the SEC. The OKC Thunder rumbles their way into Minnesota tonight to take on the Timberwolves in a face-off as the final in-season tournament game. The last time these two met was in the final play-in game to decide the 8th seed for the 2023 playoffs. Emily, Kaylee, Joe.
Thanks, Darby. Kaylee, I don't know about you, but I'm really looking forward to this Thunder game tonight. I think it's going to be filled with lots of energy. What about you?
I'll for sure be watching it as well, but I'm personally more excited for that spring game. I love me some football.
Well, coming up on OU Nightly, TSA is spreading some holiday cheer across the country.
We'll tell you how you can fetch yourself a New Year's treat. Up next.
I'm Abby Hollinsworth at the OU Nightly Update Desk. A former Kingfisher Public Schools assistant coach is on administrative leave at his new school, Western Heights. Micah Nall is charged with child abuse and perjury amid investigations into an alleged hazing culture within the KPS football program. Nall is expected in court January 2nd. Kaylee, Joe, Emily.
Thanks, Abby. TSA is spreading hope for the new year in a positively cute way. The agency has shared the 2024 Canine Calendar, which honors over 1,000 explosive detection dogs across the nation.
This year's cover girl is Dina, a 3-year-old German short-haired pointer who works as a screening canine at Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas. The calendar features photos and fun facts about the dogs featured and is available for download now on the TSA website.
Kaylee, I am definitely going to hit download as soon as we get off the air. What about you?
Me as well. I have my phone in my pocket. I am ready to download it.
Well, it's been bright and sunny outside today, but the rain is moving in quickly to Norman.
OU Nightly meteorologist Lauren Brandt has one last look at the weather.
That's right, ladies. If you are headed out on campus tomorrow, we are going to have a cooler start. We're going to be starting around 37 degrees. So make sure you have that jacket, maybe a couple layers, so you can shed them off as we go on throughout our day. But as we get into our rain chances on Thursday, we do have up to a 70% chance here in Norman, and especially as we go eastward, we could start to see those chances increase as well. So Thursday, you are going to want to make sure you have that rain jacket and those rain boots. Now for your 7-day forecast, we should start to cool down, especially as that front moves through the area, bringing in those rain chances. And by the time that we get to the end of the week, we should be in those 50s. Ladies.
Thanks, Lauren, and thank you for watching OU Nightly. I'm Emily Faith.
And I'm Kaylee Jo Hommel. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30.
Have a great night.